Cavity versus your wallet. The true cost. USA 3D animation. What if a small problem in your mouth could quietly turn into one of the most expensive health decisions you'll ever make? Most people think of a cavity as something minor, a small inconvenience, something that can wait until next month or even next year. But in reality, tooth decay is not just a dental issue. It's a process, a progression, and if ignored, it becomes a chain reaction that affects your health, your comfort, and your wallet. In the United States, millions of people deal with tooth decay every year. And while modern dentistry has made cavity treatment more advanced than ever, the cost of waiting has also never been higher. This is not just about a tooth. This is a story about time, biology, and money. Let's start from the beginning. Tooth decay, also known as dental caries, begins silently. After eating, bacteria in your mouth feed on sugars and produce acid. This acid attacks the enamel, the outer protective layer of your teeth. At first, the damage is invisible. You don't feel anything. There is no pain, no warning, no urgency. That's why so many people ignore it. A small tooth cavity forms. It might look like a tiny dark spot or feel slightly rough when you run your tongue across it. But without pain, it doesn't feel like a problem. And without urgency, it's easy to postpone a visit to the dentist. This is the moment where everything is still simple. A quick dental visit, a small filling, and the problem is gone. In many cases, tooth decay treatment at this stage is affordable. Compared to what comes later, it's almost insignificant. But here's the turning point. When you wait, the decay doesn't pause. It continues. Once the enamel is breached, the decay moves into the dentin, the softer layer beneath. This is where cavities begin to grow faster. You may start to feel tooth sensitivity. Cold drinks, hot food, or something sweet can trigger discomfort. It's not constant pain, just a signal that something is changing. But again, many people ignore it. Because it's still manageable. Because life gets busy. Because it doesn't feel urgent enough. At this stage, cavity treatment becomes more complex. The dentist may need to remove more damaged material. The filling becomes larger. The tooth becomes weaker. And the cost begins to rise. Still manageable. Still fixable. But now the situation is evolving. If decay continues deeper, it eventually reaches the pulp, the inner part of the tooth where nerves and blood vessels live. This is where things change dramatically. Pain begins. Not mild discomfort, but sharp, intense pain. It may come suddenly. It may wake you up at night. It may disappear for a while and then return even stronger. This is no longer a simple cavity. This is an infection. At this point, a standard filling is no longer enough. The infected tissue inside the tooth must be removed through a procedure known as a root canal. This is a common part of dentistry, but it is far more complex than early cavity treatment. It requires time, precision, multiple steps, and in the United States, it also comes with a significant cost. But even after the infection is removed, the process is not over. The tooth is now structurally weaker. To protect it, a crown is often placed on top. This restores strength and function, but adds another layer of expense. All of this from something that started as a small, painless dental cavity. Now imagine if the decay is still ignored. The infection does not stop inside the tooth. It spreads beyond it. Bacteria move through the root and into the surrounding bone. The body responds by forming an abscess, a pocket of infection that can cause swelling, severe pain, and visible changes in the face or jaw. At this point, the situation becomes serious. This is no longer just about teeth. It becomes a medical issue. Fever may develop. The infection can spread further into the body. In rare but dangerous cases, it can enter the bloodstream and affect overall health. Emergency treatment is required. And sometimes, the tooth cannot be saved. Extraction becomes the only option. Now the problem shifts again. The missing tooth creates a gap. Other teeth may begin to move. Chewing becomes less efficient. Bone loss can occur in the area where the tooth once was. To restore the function and appearance, many patients turn to implants. This involves oral surgery, placing a titanium post into the jawbone to replace the missing root. After healing, a crown is attached to complete the restoration. While highly effective, this is one of the most expensive procedures in modern dentistry. When you add everything together, root canal, crown, extraction, implant, The total cost can reach thousands of dollars for a single tooth. This is the true cost of ignoring cavities. And yet, this cycle repeats every day. Why? Because tooth decay is slow. Because early stages are painless. Because people believe they have time. But tooth decay doesn't stop. It progresses. And the longer it goes untreated, the more complex and expensive it becomes. There is also a common misconception that cavities can simply be reversed at any stage. While early enamel damage can sometimes be managed with proper tooth care and fluoride, once a true cavity forms, professional dental intervention is required. Natural remedies are often discussed online. Some claim that diet changes or specific products can reverse cavities. While maintaining good oral health is essential, relying only on natural remedies without proper diagnosis can delay necessary treatment and make the situation worse. This is where understanding becomes critical. Not everything that sounds simple is safe. Not everything that feels minor stays minor. Tooth decay is predictable. It follows a clear path. From enamel damage to dentin involvement, to pulp infection, to bone impact. And at every stage, the cost increases. Financially, physically, emotionally. Even in children, this process can occur. A baby teeth cavity may seem less important because those teeth will eventually fall out. But untreated decay in baby teeth can lead to pain, infection, and problems with the development of permanent teeth. Tooth care is not just about fixing problems. It's about preventing them. Regular checkups allow dentists to detect early signs of dental caries before they become serious. Cleanings remove plaque and reduce bacterial buildup. Early intervention keeps treatment simple and affordable. Think of it as a decision point. You can act early when the problem is small, or you can wait and deal with the consequences later. There is also the emotional side of dental problems. Pain affects sleep. It affects concentration. It affects daily life. People often underestimate how much a single tooth can impact their overall well-being. And then there's the financial stress. Unexpected dental bills can be overwhelming. Many people delay treatment because they are trying to save money, not realizing that the delay is what makes the situation more expensive. It becomes a cycle. Avoid treatment to save money. Problem gets worse. Treatment becomes more expensive. Avoid again, and so on. Breaking this cycle starts with awareness. Understanding what is happening inside your teeth gives you control. It allows you to make decisions before the situation escalates. In this 3D video, what you see is not exaggerated. It is the real biological process. A healthy tooth, a small area of damage, a growing cavity, layers breaking down, bacteria spreading, pain developing, infection forming, tooth loss, and finally, restoration through complex procedures. All of it connected, all of it preventable. The difference between a simple filling and a full reconstruction is often just time and one decision. So the next time you feel tooth sensitivity, notice a small spot, or wonder if something is wrong, remember this journey. Because what seems small today can become very expensive tomorrow. And in the end, the real question is not just about tooth decay. It's about value. What is the cost of waiting? And what is the value of acting early? If this gave you a new perspective on cavities, dentistry, and the true cost of dental care, consider subscribing for more visual explanations that break down complex processes into something clear, understandable, and useful. Because when you can see what's happening inside, you make better decisions outside.